Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne. Welcome to my channel. Can people in the ditch lead you to safety? I was just talking to a very successful author, Michael Van Vlymen, and you may want to look at his books on the supernatural and angels. And when I talked to him about 4 years ago, I was asking him about translation, like the ability to go from one country to another by faith in your body. And he told me 4 years ago that he's got 20 occasions where he's got testimony where his flesh body went from America to another country in an instant, and he did something in the other country and came back. So he's got 20 testimonies. He travels the world teaching translation and teaching people to have their spiritual eyes opened and things on the supernatural. We're talking, and I was having a good conversation about an hour ago, and I was talking about how that the majority of Christians have got no idea what Jesus taught. And it really is a shame that Jesus taught about enter the kingdom via the narrow gate, and difficult is the path, and few that find it, but broad is the way that leads to destruction. And the majority of Christians believe that the narrow and difficult path is the one that they are on, and they believe the broad way that leads to destruction is what the world is on, and that's what non-Christians are on. But Jesus was talking to his followers. He was talking to people that were interested in him, and he wasn't talking to unbelievers. And that message is to us. And if you had a narrow and difficult path and few people find it, how many people would you consider few? Like 10%, 5%, 3%? And if broad was the path that leads to destruction, wouldn't you say something like 95% of people would be on the broad way, and the narrow and difficult path would be about 5%? And I was talking to Michael about how the narrow gate, how the narrow path isn't taught in church. And people, I don't know one Christian personally, besides maybe Michael, who have an understanding of what the 54 parables of Jesus actually mean and how to apply them, and what the 50 commandments of Jesus actually say and what they are and how to apply them. And so Jesus taught in Matthew 7 that if you don't build your life upon his sayings, if you don't build your life upon his teachings, then when the storm comes, your house will fall. And I'm very nervous, I'm very sad, and I'm very concerned for the Christian church. Actually, in late 2019, I unfriended 4,500 people because I thought something very bad was going to happen in 2020, and I didn't want everyone messaging me on Facebook. So I removed 4,500 friends. I was misled by the enemy there, and I was in a bit of a delusion, but I wasn't wrong. Early in 2020, COVID hit, and the whole world shut down, and something really bad did happen, and I didn't have thousands of people contacting me because no one was my friend anymore. So I was talking about the narrow gate, and he travels and ministers full-time in churches. So he's got more of a understanding of what's happening. I can only go on what I see on YouTube and what I see popular preachers preaching, and they're not preaching the narrow gate. They're not explaining what Jesus taught. They're not teaching people the parables of Jesus. And I don't think I've ever heard any teacher teach on Jesus having 50 commandments, let alone teach the real meaning of any of the parables. And we're discussing that, and I said, God the Father told me that there was only 10 preachers in the United States that preached the narrow gate last year, and most of them aren't preaching the true gospel. And he said, how can people be led into truth when everyone's in the ditch? 95% of the Christian church is in the ditch, and they're happy being there. So the teachers aren't teaching the truth. And how can you be led to safety in these trying times that are going to come? Who are you going to run to? How are you going to be safe when COVID number 2 and COVID number 3 start to come out, and all sorts of government regulations and loss of life and loss of jobs and loss of financial security and collapse of banks? How are you going to survive? How are you going to make your way through that? Have you got an intimate relationship with Jesus that'll get you through that? One thing I do know is that Jesus preached in Matthew 7 that unless you base your life on his sayings, on his teachings, your house is going to fall. And I would say wouldn't be more than 2% of the Christian church have built their life on the rock, and 98% of the Christian church have built their life on the sand. They're not even aware of it. And this probably be the first video you've ever seen that you've seen that. I've was writing books. I've been writing books for 11 years, and for the past 7 years, I was writing and self-publishing one book a week, one book a month. And 6 weeks ago, the Holy Spirit told me to put that down and told me I was going to change directions. I'm still starting to come into alignment with what my new purpose is. And my new purpose is going to teach people through videos at a higher level. I'm going to invite people to partner with my ministry on YouTube and mentor people with partner-only videos and special videos that are released for people who want to financial support me. And I'm going to become like a spiritual father and a true apostle, fathering some people, and I'm going to mentor people. And also for people who support me financially well, I also going to start to teach people how to interact with the supernatural and take them on trips to heaven and open up their abilities to converse with angels, saints, God, and Jesus and their loved ones. And so I'm going to do like a 2-stage ministry of teaching on videos and mentoring people. So I would encourage you to join my partnership. I'm starting to realize that I'm going to have a lot more effect teaching to 2 or 3 people or 5 or 10 people than releasing videos just to teach people who aren't interested. They're not really interested in the truth. When I talked to the Father about 6 weeks ago, I asked him why people don't chase out the meanings of the parables. Why don't people try and understand what the commandments that John says we should obey? Why don't they chase out the meanings of Jesus' teachings? And the Father says they're not interested because they know that if they find out what Jesus really taught, that they'd have to do it, and they don't want to do it. They don't want to change their life, so they're happy to play religion. Are you a person who wants to play religion? Do you want to continue to be taught by people who are in the ditch that aren't teaching the truth? Or do you want to come out of that ditch and live an exemplary beautiful Christian life and start to demonstrate the life and character of Jesus Christ to everyone you meet? Do you want to be someone who evangelizes and saves souls, not by preaching at them, but being such a beautiful person that people want to find out about your faith? Do you want to understand the Bible? Do you want to walk how the early disciples taught? Do you want to be part of an early church movement? I encourage you, if you like this teaching, like this post, that'll help me on YouTube. If you want to interact, I encourage you to interact with a comment, and I reply to all my comments. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, I encourage you to subscribe. But most of all, I want to encourage all of you who watch this video to the end. I want to encourage you to not only like, subscribe, and comment, but to join my ministry platform and support me for as little as $3.99 Australian a month, and at the most $29.95 Australian a month, and partner with me so I can personally start to be led by the Holy Spirit to lead you into living a Christian life at a greater dimension. I hope that you're encouraged by this teaching. I'm sorry. The fact of the matter is the blind are leading the blind today, and they both ended up in a ditch. And it sounds really insulting for you to hear the fact that you are in a ditch and you're being taught by blind leaders, but we're in the very last days, and it was prophesied that this would happen. I encourage you to do what you choose to do, but I really encourage some of you to join my channel, start to financially support me so I can do other things with my channel. God bless.